for me to open the door. Oh,
Well, the dogs, that's what they do when their masters go away.
uh-oh. Joey froze. Oh, no. Oh, no. He froze right when we went live. Well, everybody,
Hey, at least he's got a good little smirk on his face.
that's right. It does this every now and then. His modem drops signal or something, and so he has to reboot. But he'll be back on here in a minute. Hey everyone, you are live on the Overland Podcast. I'm Tony with Bats Off Road, and we have Tim with Exploring the Outdoors on here. Tim, how are you today, man?
Pretty good, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. We're gonna
We'll ask Joey in a minute.
Yeah, we'll ask him when he gets back on here. We'll start the intro here, and hopefully, yep, there he goes. Yeah, he dropped. Well, we'll start the intro here. Hang on, stay with us, guys.
Thank you for watching or listening to the Overland Podcast. We're excited to be here. We're coming to you live as we do each week, bringing you the latest in all things outdoors and overlanding. The live show contains listeners, so join us with your comments and questions. Here we go. No pros, just bros on this show.
Right on. Well, we've got some storms brewing here. Hopefully, they'll stay away long enough for us to get the show done here. But I'm wondering if Joey's got storms down there in Conway. How's the weather where you're at?
We've been flooding for the last couple of weeks, and the last 3 days have been blue skies finally.
Oh, wow. Is it hot down there?
Oh, yeah. It's like 90 degrees and very, very humid now, and mosquitoes are everywhere.
Yeah. That was kind of a loaded question. I know you're in Houston, so it's pretty much hot all the time, seems like. But
yep.
So, kind of used to Joey running the show here, and he's not on. But before we get into the main topic here, which is how to keep cool at camp, Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and exploring the outdoors and what you do, what you got going on?
So I do YouTube basically, and channels exploring the outdoors, like you said, and basically I just got into overlanding, and I was really doing it before I even knew what it was, because a while back I'd converted over a little minivan, took all the seats out, AC, had a bed, everything in it, roof rack, ARB awning, and I was just running around and camping everywhere I could. And someone told me one time, they're like, "You were overlanding." I was like, "What is overlanding? I haven't even got a clue what that is."
Right.
Once I learned what it was, and then I turned around and got rid of the little van, and then I bought my Frontier, and that thing has been my little project ever since I've got it. It's tight and everything else. So I've been trying to get into longer, further excursions instead of doing the little short weekend trips. I'd rather go out and just spend a week or two on the trail and do a long series of videos.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do those little weekend trips whenever you cover them all in your area, and you get to longing for something a little further away. So yeah, I get that. Now you mentioned a Frontier. You got what year is your rig?
Mine is a 2017 Frontier Crew Cab SV 4x4.
Yeah. All right.
It's Titan swapped. It's got a full Ironman suspension underneath the back. It's a Z1 off-road front suspension in the front. I got the Go Rhino bed rack, CVT10 on the top. We got the CVT10 awning on the back. And the ARB front bumper, which has saved my truck's life once.
Yeah. You ran into a washing machine? A deep freeze. That's right. Ran into a deep freeze in the middle of the night on the interstate.
On my way to make the last payment of the truck.
Oh, man.
Hit it at 70 miles an hour and destroyed it.
And it I'm guessing it messed up your bumper.
No, I actually just put a little scuff mark on the front bumper. I actually sent a picture of it to ARB and told them the story, and they emailed me back and said, "That is awesome."
Yeah, that's cool.
We're glad our bumper saved your truck.
Right. So speaking of long excursions, what have you got going on this year? What's your plans coming up?
So in July, I am taking off to do the Enchanted Rockies Trail.
Nice.
And I'm going to start at the southern end down by Carlsbad and make my way all the way north. But I want to do the entire trail from start to finish. And it'll be just me solo with my dog.
Yeah, dogs. We took ours with us last weekend. It's kind of been the first time in a minute, but we were out on the Buffalo River, and the rocks, were kind of rocky. We could tell they were so happy to be there and play in the river the first day, but by the second day, their paws were they were slowing down. They were a little sore, but anyway, yeah, the Enchanted Rockies Trail would be super awesome. I'd love to do that someday. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do it in little sections. I've heard people doing it in little sections here and there, but I just want to do it from start to finish the whole way.
Yeah, yeah. I've got all of the GPX files downloaded, and they are, like you said, in sections, from, I don't know, one town to a certain town or an area. So, but yeah, I think that would be pretty awesome.
Matter of fact, that's why this right here is new. I got the Garmin Tread.
Ooh.
So
the Garmin Tread.
I got that set up. I got all my waypoints, my fuel stops, camp spots. Everything's all set up and that thing ready to go.
Right on. Yeah, I saw your post the other day where you were going through the settings and adding the waypoints and stuff. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't pass that thing up. I get a 35% discount through my company for.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I got a huge
it's hard
discount.
To pass those. Yeah, it's hard to pass that up for sure. So, what other kind of gear have you got in your truck? Like, what was your tent?
I have the CBT Mount Washington, which they discontinued that one.
Okay.
And they came out with a new style.
Gotcha. Right. You run a fridge, I guess?
I have the Sit Power PT45 dual zone fridge. Nice. I don't have a back seat no more. The back seat is completely removed, and I built a platform back there. And I have 200 amp hours of lithium battery, a 40 amp DC to DC charger, what was that one? The Napa air compressor that they had out for a while.
Yeah.
I got one of those, and I modified it to where it's got a pressure relief on there, so I can run it off an air hose, and I can go to each tire and turn it on and off at the tire.
Oh, nice! That's cool. That's really cool. Oh hey, look who's back! What happened? Hey. You got storms down there? Knocked your
my head off. No, we don't have no storms here, but it's my internet is. I'm about this far from throwing my modem out in the street. So, yeah. Well, I need a ZeroBreeze in there to cool me off because I'm getting kind of warm.
Yeah.
Around the car.
Aim the hose at you.
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
Is it kind of like the smell-o-vision? You got the cool-o-vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goodness.
So, speaking of your ZeroBreeze back there, Tim, I guess you're going to be taking that on this trip with you?
I don't know. I kind of looked at the temperatures and the different ranges. The southern portion, it gets 90 degrees during the day, but they're saying 70 is the average low, or if not lower, so I might just get away with a fan.
Yeah.
I might take it with me just to have it, just in case. But the further I go north, I shouldn't need it as much.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be in and out of higher elevation stuff, so
yeah,
surely. And
when you in my truck.
Yeah, and you're leaving June?
July.
Oh, July. Yeah.
Yeah, July 3rd, I think, is when I'm leaving.
Right on. Right on.
What I miss? What y'all been talking about?
Well, so I just asked him about his channel, Exploring the Outdoors, and he talked a little bit about his adventures, what he's got going on. And he talked about his rig, and then we were about to transition over to the topic of this evening.
The topic is
keeping
how
cool.
Not to get kicked off your own show. AT&T, I'm coming for you. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, thank you for everybody who's on here. We got a few people on here. As soon as I tried to go on Instagram, that's when everything blew up and melted. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to stay off here and stick to this. So anyway, thank y'all for being here. Yeah. What?
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't run through any of the comments yet. So
okay, here we go.
Thank you for watching or listening to the Overland Podcast. We're excited to be here. We're coming to you live as we do each week, bringing you the latest in all things outdoors and overlanding. The live show contains listeners, so join us with your comments and questions. Here we go. No pros, just bros on this show.
yeah, I think I forgot to mention to you that we did that part too.
Oh yeah, we leave for a second, then we come back. It gives me a chance to take a deep breath and coffee.
Woosah. You need a woosah.
Yeah.
Go have you some bacon and coffee, buddy. You'll
breathe in, breathe out, wax on, wax off. That's what we do. Okay. Man, we got several people in here. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Jasper Jeep Jam is on here.
Yeah. Lisa, I hope you're feeling better soon. She took a big fall today.
Who?
Lisa with Jasper Jeep Jam and Overlanding Rally.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Benji throws in this this comment right here because everybody asked him the exact same thing on that seems to be like the go-to question when you don't know what to say in the comments.
Hey, that's a sincere question for me. Anytime I'm watching, I say,
Tim, what's your favorite camp meal? Let's get this out of the way. Here we go.
All right, so my favorite camp meal, I like to take frozen broccoli, bell peppers and onions, and like sausage or chicken, and just make like a little stir fry. Simple, easy, done, fast. And back on, either back to sleep or back on the trail.
Right.
You know, I think mine has changed. This past weekend, we took a fridge full of food, and I knew that it was going to be hot down there on the river during the day. So I told my wife, I said, when you go to the store, get some stuff we don't have to cook. And she went and got some cocktail shrimp, like the big ones, not the little bitty ones, but it came in a thing. It had its own sauce. Cocktail shrimp. They were cold, and all we did was open the package, open the sauce, and I dipped them in there and ate them. And I'm like, this is it. We're getting this every time. Every time we go, this is what we're getting. So I think that's my new favorite camp meal. You don't have to cook it. It's already done. You just open it up. Everything's peeled, and it was good. It was in fact, the only thing I had to cook last weekend was your daughter's macaroni and cheese. That's the only thing I cooked. And so it was nice because you were over there just slaving over hamburgers and you were just pouring sweat and all this other stuff. And I was looking at you, and I was like, man, I'm sure glad
you felt sorry for me. I appreciate that.
I took a bunch of pictures of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over there slaving away in the.
You were moist
on the riverbank. I was.
You were.
Yep.
You should have had your ZeroBreeze.
I know it.
Just saying.
Well, but at night though, it was down in.
It was in the 50s.
It was so nice at night, and it was so hot during the day.
You know, I got in bed that night. Of course, we were right on the water, and the water that night there was pushing the humidity out because the storms. We drove through the storms to get there, and we sat there that night and watched the storms go out. And that night I crawled into bed, and I'm like, this is absolutely perfect. We had a little fan, pointed down on us, and I had just a little rumple blanket on top of me, and I'm like, this is heaven. This is heaven. This is my wife's new favorite. I smoked a brisket last year. I chopped it up and we froze it, and I did it in individual portions, and we just take it out and pan sear it and have asparagus, and it's so easy. It takes like a minute and a half. It's so nice.
I mean, who eats brisket and asparagus out camping? I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, it's great. It's great. That'd be a great meal.
That's white collar food, man.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. She thinks she bruised her rib.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Yeah, she took a tough fall. All it was telling me about her conversation.
And I hate that. Hope you get better. We'll say a prayer for you, Lisa.
Yeah.
And for you too, Kai, because I know that you're having to deal with it. So
yeah. Well, he's out in the Gulf right now. He'll be back next week.
Well, Kai.
He'll be back.
Actually, he flies on our helicopters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met him at the Moore Expo.
Right on.
How about
Heck yeah. It's a small world. You never know how, when you talk to another overlander, how your private lives, interact in different ways.
That's right. And that's
Yeah.
also one of the best rides at Disney World. Just saying. It's a small
A
world.
helicopter?
No, it's a small world.
Oh.
You get on this little boat and you go through all these little people and they're singing, "Yeah, it's a small world after all."
Okay.
It's the best one.
Is it? Okay.
I could just stay on there all day because it's nice and cool in there, and you're in there
It
by yourself,
is.
and it's dark. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh my goodness! Let's get to the task at hand. Tim, we've met several times and have talked on and off about this. You actually helped me when I had a little bit of an issue with my ZeroBreeze. Got that all worked out. But you have actually made a connection with ZeroBreeze a few years ago, and you've traveled with them, done a lot of shows with them, and you know a lot about it. So that's why we wanted you to come up here and tell us a little bit, because they got a new product coming out. The Mark III is coming out, I think, June, maybe July. Is that right?
I think that's what he said, somewhere around there.
And so it's going to be neat to see the upgrades that are done and the specs that come out, because the one that I have, the Mark II, the one that me and Tony have, is a really, I've used it multiple times. In fact, I've made Tony's wife very jealous because I had one. He didn't. Now he has one. I can't anymore. But camping on the Buffalo in extremely hot weather, we had it pumped into our trailer, and it kept us. I mean, it was in the 80s at night, and it was in the 50s and 60s inside the camper. So I didn't want to come out, and so it's been really nice. But I just want to talk about your experience with it and why you believe it is the best air conditioner out there as far as overlanding goes. Give us your point of view.
So I bought mine before I even knew who ZeroBreeze was. I learned about it a long time ago, and I bought the Mark II when it first came out. So I've had it for a long time, and like I said, it's been in the rain, it's been in the dust, it rides around the bed of the truck.
You've frozen it.
I frozen it. The whole thing was frozen.
The whole thing.
I was just playing with it, and it works. It works really well, and they came out with a few accessories for them, and that's one of the things I do love about it. Is they're always trying to improve it. And they came out with the little piece that goes on the front so you can have a second hose.
Mm-hmm.
And down here in the South, that second hose is very important because the way air conditioning works is it cycles the air in the room until it removes the humidity. And the humidity is what is really bad down here in Texas and up there. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things I love about that thing is that it can remove the humidity in the room. And it's not very heavy. I mean,
yeah, make sure you have that.
Got that one handle, so climbing up and down into the tent, it's not that bad. Yeah, whereas some of these other air conditioners are big old blocks, and they're kind of heavy and bulky taken up into a tent.
Exactly. 16.5 pounds is what it weighs. That's without the battery. The battery adds, I think, 9 pounds.
Well, it makes it, I think, 32 pounds total. It's about the same weight for the battery.
Yeah, the battery's pretty heavy. It's pretty significant. I love how it attaches to it, so you don't have to carry two things around. You can also attach it to another. They give you I think it's like a cigarette lighter type plug-in that you can plug it into another charging station if you have one. 2,300 BTUs. That's pretty significant. Mm-hmm. I have a picture here that I downloaded today. This is a very interesting picture to me, because it actually shows you that this is not just a swamp cooler. This is actual an air conditioner. So you can see all the copper tubing that's inside and the fan and all that. So
you can see the compressor right in the center.
The compressor, right. It's so interesting to me to see that, to see how how it's made. I like to know the inside and outs of things, and
I have one taken apart.
Yeah, have it taken apart. Of course, if I have something like this, I'm really good at taking stuff apart, but putting it back together, that's not my thing. That's Tony's thing.
Yeah.
And I usually call him and say, "Hey, I took this deal apart. I need to come over and let you put it back together." And mechanics hate that. When you drive up and you want them to fix your car, and you're like, "Here are the parts I took off."
Yeah.
And so they hate
Well,
that. So I don't take stuff apart.
I'm not a mechanic, so I don't hate that.
That's kind of
how would you describe yourself?
I'm just somebody that stayed at a Holiday Inn one time, man. That's
you watch YouTube like that?
Yeah, I watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. I like to DIY what I can, buy what I have to, figure out things, if it makes sense to do it myself. So I do watch a lot of YouTube to learn how to do stuff.
Well, the one thing I love about the ZeroBreeze, especially living in the South. So we're down in the South. The humidity is king from May to September.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really shortens the time that you actually want to get out of the car. So it's okay for those who want to get in their off-road vehicles, go do some trails, and go home. But if you don't have the ability, if you don't live close, if you travel, and there's tons of people from Texas that come to Arkansas, to the Ozarks, and to the Ouachitas, and there's tons of people from Kansas and Oklahoma, because they don't have the kind of terrain that we have here. But if you have 4 or 5 days and you have it in the summertime in that area of time, this will give you an opportunity to be able to get out and not suffer. And that's what I like about it. I've used it both ways. I've used it actually inside, where you have the unit inside the vehicle and you pump the hot air outside, the exhaust outside, and I've also and the drain. Don't forget the drain.
Humidity. Yeah, you got to do the drain.
Don't forget the drain, because that'll make a mess. But I've also had it outside on the trailer where you have. I just keep my double hose thing attached on the front, because that's the way I've been using it here lately. So I put both hoses inside and then leave the unit outside. And like we were talking about earlier, unless it's a hard rain, it's going to be fine. It's built very well. It's not going to affect it. So I've used it both ways. It's worked well for me both ways. And I love something that you can use remotely with a battery or a power pack, and also be able to use solar on it, because we're huge on solar, to be able to put that charge back in there and use it for a longer period of time. So with it being portable, being able to run off a battery and not electricity, like from a 110, and also being able to charge with solar, those are the huge things for me. And that's what makes it that much more of a selling point for me, where I wanted one.
So Tim, I'm curious, how do you have your setup? Do you put it inside the tent, or do you have it outside?
Mine outside.
Outside?
Yeah, I do the dual hoses off the front, and I run it. I have, like I said, I have 2 4-inch ports that I put in my tent through the roof.
Yeah.
That I can screw the caps on, and I hook the hoses to those, and I put the ZeroBreeze down in the bed of my truck, and it recirculates the air.
Okay. All right. Now, is that because you found out that it's more efficient that way, or is it just because of how your rig is set up and it works better?
Well, if you have the dual hoses on there, it actually drops it down, and it pulls more humidity out of the tent. Instead of just blowing cool air in there, it'll recirculate the air like your air conditioner in your house. Because you have your return is right here in the front, and then your vent is right here on the top. So you can recirculate that air to that part, and then all your heat exhaust and all your heat exchange takes place in the back.
Gotcha.
It's a lot like pushing the recirculate on the vehicle that makes your air conditioner work that much better. It's kind of, that's, for a simple mind like myself, that's how I have to understand it.
In fact, this piece right here is one of the first ones that ZeroBreeze made that's on the front of mine. This is a rough 3D printed piece that they sent me to try out, because I had a hose that was just duct taped on the front right here that I was using to do the recirculate. And then they sent me that one to put on so I could actually hook the hoses up right.
Now, how long have you had your unit, the one that you have right there? How long have you had that?
Oh, a couple years now.
Okay. How many times do you think you've used it?
Every year. quite often. I use it a lot too, like not even just camping. Like when I was doing the Titan swap on my truck, I had it all tore apart. This thing was sitting on the ground behind me, blowing cool air on me while I was up there in the truck working on it.
Makes sense.
It's so small and lightweight, you can take it anywhere. And if you plug it in on AC, you just run it on an extension cord and just carry it around your vehicle while you're working.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that's one thing that people will ask, about. I know the warranty. Let's see the warranty policy. I was bringing it up here on the website. So they do have warranty claim, evaluation, stuff like that you can do out there. The warranty period is what is it? 2 years on there?
I think so.
I think it's 2 years on there. They're built well, but it doesn't matter if you use it once or if you use it 100 times. It's the same warranty, 2 years. But what we're seeing is that they're lasting longer than that. Do you ever see any of the first editions out there anymore? I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
I've never seen one in person. I've seen them on their Facebook groups. Some people have showed theirs, but I haven't really seen one in person.
Well, if people have them and show them, they're probably still using them, which that says a lot about the company. But they've made so many improvements since then that the Mark II is. I love all the accessories that come with it. It has so many things that you can get with it. They have a huge sale going on right now, 25% up to 25% off site wide. So summer's coming on, and if you need something like this, and if you want to stay comfortable, now's the time to get it. So where it was, the basic one was $9.99. Now it's $8.99. If you get a battery with it, you save about $425. So that's a pretty substantial savings. So pretty cool. And do you use a battery with yours, Tim, or do you wire it to your vehicle?
I have a battery, and I'll show you the best accessory to get. And I always tell everyone at the shows when I talk to them to get this accessory.
All right. I'm interested to see this.
This is the power distribution block.
Yeah.
It allows you to hook up 2 batteries to the AC. And if you wanted, you could also plug in your charger and have it charging both your batteries off a power station. And I get over 20 hours runtime with this thing added.
What?
Because I can plug into my inverter with my 200 amp hours on my truck, and I can add in the extra 840 amp hour battery that comes with that you get with the ZeroBreeze, and I add to it. Now, eventually, it will stop because the charger splits it. Your battery charges at 10 amps normally. No, the battery charges at 5. The AC runs at 10. So each one of these is 5 amps. So eventually you'll run it down, but you'll get 10 plus hours out of it.
Wow.
And that is called the what?
This is the power distribution block. Let's see.
Power distribution.
The power extension dock.
Power extension dock. I need to look that up right there.
That thing right there.
Power extension dock right there. I see it. So you can run more than one thing.
You can have 2 of their batteries hooked up, and you can plug your AC charger into like a Blue Eddy or any power station. Yeah. And it'll be charging your batteries while you're running off your batteries, so you'll get a long run time out of it.
Oh my gosh, man, you got to have that. I just put that in my cart. I got to have that.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm telling you, that's the best accessory they got that they came out with.
And the best thing is it's on sale right now.
It's on sale right now for $129. So get it while they're hot.
I tell everybody when they're at the shows and they come up, they always ask me about getting one with a battery, and I'm just like, just get this. They're like, that's for dual batteries. No, you can plug in your AC and plug it into a power station with your ZeroBreeze battery, and you're charging that battery and running it. So you'll get 10 to 12 hours runtime out of it.
Not only that, but you can also plug in solar to that and charge your batteries while it's running.
I have their solar panel.
That's genius.
So I have a question. You know, Joey, how in the wintertime I put the walls up on my awning and I use the propane fire pit or something like that to get in out of the wind and the heat. I wonder how well something like ZeroBreeze would work in reverse of that in the summertime with the awning walls down. Would you feel enough relief on a hot day from something like that?
Are you talking about doing the same thing in the summer, about putting your walls down and putting the ZeroBreeze inside?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it would escape, but I'm wondering if it would be. That's something I want to try.
If you sat in front of it, it'd make a difference.
Yeah.
It's only designed for about 40 square feet, so anything bigger than that has a hard time cooling.
Yeah.
It's 2,300 BTUs.
Yeah.
But if you sat it right in front of you and had it piped on you like this, it'd make a difference too.
It'd make a difference. Huh. Okay.
That's
interesting.
Well, that made my whole show right there. Just
learning about
the power extension dock for that.
That's the coolest little tool they got.
That's incredible. You mentioned something earlier about using it in the wintertime to heat, and this is where you told us a story about freezing the thing over.
Yes.
So you can actually turn it around. So the exhaust that comes out, there's no harmful emissions or anything like that comes out of that. So if you actually turned it around and blew the exhaust into your tent or your trailer or whatever you're staying in, you're not actually going to harm yourself to heat.
And all that's doing is just circulating air to cool the compressor?
Well, no, it's your condenser is in the back.
Condenser, yeah.
So
okay.
You're moving outside air through the condenser to take the heat away.
Yeah.
That's why they want the dual hoses going out if the whole unit's sitting inside, so you're not sucking your inside air and blowing it out. So, in theory, you could turn it around the opposite way and run that hose, run the front side of it outside your tent, or pipe both hoses into your tent, and you'd be blowing hot air in your tent. And it kind of worked. I mean, I did it in Overland Expo East in Virginia. The only problem was I set mine on the roof of the truck and had it outside the tent, and it got wet, and then it froze, and I had a running block of ice that was blowing cold air back in my tent.
But it was running.
That's
incredible.
I got pictures of it somewhere.
That's incredible. So the weighs 16.5 pounds. It offers you the power cooling of a 2,300 BTU system. This is on the website. Engineered with an ultra-efficient micro dual-cylinder inverter compressor. Now, that is some strong language right there for somebody who's not an engineer. It's a micro dual-cylinder inverter compressor. That blows my mind right there. Operates quietly and economically with low power draw. So it shows that the power draw on it is, let me see here. Let's see, that's on the battery. It's 240 watts, 2,300 BTUs. 52 decibels is sound level. What you got?
I don't know if y'all can see that, but that was it frozen on top of my truck. The whole inlet right there is a block of ice.
Oh, wow.
That's so funny.
You said it draws 249 watts?
Yeah, it's right at 250. I have all the power specs on it. Because it's got 4 fan speeds, and then you got 3 cooling modes plus a fan mode.
That doesn't seem like a lot of power, to be honest.
No, it's not.
No, that's why it can run off a battery for 4 hours by itself without recharging.
Nice.
Yeah, the lowest I've seen mine on the low fan on snooze is about 110, 120 watts. And then when you go to the turbo mode on the highest fan setting, it's 250 watts.
Well, the first time I ever saw one in action, Matt McClellan took out one, and he's still listed as one of the ambassadors on the website, but he took his out. He intentionally, and this is a great video on Ozark Overland Adventures that he does. He intentionally went on the hottest day of the year in July. It was 100 degrees. It was over 100 degrees during the day, and it got down in the mid to upper 90s that night. And he actually had the unit inside his tent, inside the rooftop tent, and it got to 52. I think he showed was the thing on the dial on the front, on the digital dial, and he actually had to turn it off because he was cold. And that was that was all she wrote for me. I mean, that was like, it works. It works because when you take it out in those kind of conditions in Arkansas, if it's 95 degrees outside, there's probably about 85% humidity. And inside his tent, he made it where it was actually as comfortable or more comfortable than home. And so if you can do that, that extends your camping season right there, because just think about it. If you go out and float, you're doing a base camp float or something like that, you may not want to stay the night. But if you've got one of these, it doesn't matter. You can stay the night. It actually makes it where you can get out and do stuff, because it's hard for me to sleep at night when I'm sweating.
Yeah.
It's just really hard. We don't do any backpacking when it's hot because we just can't, sleep outside when it's hot. Sleep in a pool of your own sweat is not fun. But when you can cool it off, or you can actually be comfortable, or even give you a place during the daytime to get out of the weather and escape the heat, then it'll extend your camping season. It'll extend your overlanding season for months, make it year round even.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the selling points for me when I saw his video, and he purposefully went out on the hottest day of the year and proved that it worked. And he's not one of those that will sugarcoat anything. If it sucks, it sucks, and he'll tell you it sucks. But I mean, he's like, man, it's cold. I have to turn this thing off. And so that was pretty cool to me. What do you see changes on the Mark III that's coming out? What do you know about the Mark III that's coming out?
I don't know a lot of the specs on that one yet. I believe it's got a bigger battery. I know it's 5,200 BTU. It's
like double.
It's almost double.
It's double, but it's about the same size as this one, which is impressive.
Yeah, on the pictures, okay, I've got a picture. I want to show everybody what the picture is if you're watching, because I got this off the website. They're almost identical in size.
Yeah.
The shape is pretty much the same, but they've changed up. It may be a little bit longer. I don't know if this picture is skewed or not, but
I think it's about 3 pounds more too. Well, it's not much.
Well, to be double,
yeah, that's impressive.
I would take the 3 pounds for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a good looking unit. I like how that new unit looks. That's really neat. But for it to be almost double the power, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's about double. Mm-hmm. It's double the power. I know it is on that. And then I think he said the most it pulls is 500 watts.
Wow.
So
okay.
Double the power consumption, but you can adjust it too. So you can go down lower, or you can go up.
There's the rib breaker. Lisa, how are you, girl?
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the specs on the battery, and if you don't understand how this whole setup works, the battery actually attaches to the unit on the bottom. So when you carry it, you can carry it all as a unit. It's 18650 lithium ion polymer battery. It's about 6 hours full charge time, and it is 12 pounds, and it will operate from 0 to 104 degrees. So it's pretty well made. And there's one little small cable that attaches the battery to the unit, unless you have that dilly-dally that you showed us a while ago.
Power extension dock.
Power extension dock.
I'll be having that.
Dilly-dally.
That's the all-inclusive term for things I don't know.
Hey, I knew exactly what you mean.
We were trying to dilly-dally and go live the other night and just couldn't do it. So,
yes, that's right.
But
that's right.
I want to reiterate, now's the time to get this.
Yep.
Yeah, they got a good sale going.
Up to 25% off site-wide. And also, they have they're doing a giveaway. They're doing a giveaway of like an overland pack, gift pack or something like that. They announced the winner that won the first one today. They're having the next one. If you go onto their Instagram, you can sign up for that. But they're having it right now. The basic unit is $899 plus a battery, $1,273.50. If you get 2 batteries, it's $1,797. And if you get the Wow, you can get it with the Elec Hive, which is their battery pack.
Their Big Boss battery.
That's a Big Boss battery for $2,400.
Their big dilly dally battery.
But if you also have your own battery pack, you can get the what's it called?
Power extension
dock and hook it up.
Now, also on their website, ZeroBreeze was also really good about trying to not make their stuff whatever that word is.
Proprietary.
Yeah, that one. So they have cables for like Jackery and Blue Eddy and stuff like that to hook their system straight to those too.
They do. If you go to the accessories under the Mark II, they have all the accessories where you can hook any of that stuff. This is funny. Where you can hook just about anything you have up to it. And I totally agree. Hot flashes are real.
Yeah.
Some girls don't like sweat. So, if you have anniversary coming up or anything like that, this could be to her for you. So I would definitely want to check this out. They also have different payment options. You can buy with PayPal. You can also get it with Klarna and pay it by the month if that's a little expensive for you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get hooked up with them. What would you say? What would you say is the thing that sets ZeroBreeze apart from the other things that are out there, the other portable ACs that are out there? There's a few out there. There's not a whole lot, but what do you think sets them apart?
For me, it's the company.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a small YouTube channel, and these guys took me on and took me to shows with them, and I still get gift boxes every now and then from them just out of the blue. They just send me stuff and just to say thank you for being with them. So the company side of it, the people that I've actually met that are behind them, they're really great people. And that's one of the things I like about stuff.
Didn't you say that they make all of their own parts?
Yes, they said that on the Mark III. That's one of the problems that they're having is they can't just buy the parts and pieces for it. So they're making all the pieces themselves, like all the plastic casing. They're doing their own roller molding casings and stuff. So anything that they identify as a problem or that they're learning through their demo units, they're trying to fix before they do the production and send them out to people. So when you get it, you got a great product and not something that's going to break on you.
Nice.
So they're trying to fix it better, make it better.
Awesome. Where are they made?
China.
Okay. Well,
they have a facility in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Right.
And they talked about trying to bring over, like, starting up a facility here to do research and development and actually manufacturing here. But I'm not sure if they're done that yet or not.
Well, I know one of the owners lives in Dallas. I actually met him at More Expo, went to dinner with him, didn't know who he was at the time. And Craig from Outback RV of Texas, he's like, yeah, we got another guy that's going to meet us here. He's the owner, one of the owners of ZeroBreeze. And I'm like, what? Oh, that's cool. And I'm like, man, I didn't dress for this. I should have, dressed up a little more and maybe took a shower or something. But super cool guy. I mean, we just laughed and just had the best time, and he was cracking jokes, and we just had the best time. Real down to earth kind of guy. I know he's super intelligent, but he's one of those guys that can conversate with normal everyday guys like us, and that's what you were talking about. The company sets them apart, and I agree, because I don't know of any other company that has power stations or anything like this that the owner was at More Expo. And so I thought that was extremely awesome for him to actually take the time and want to be there. Most of those guys have people that do that for them.
Right.
And, yes. Sean goes to most of the expos that they go to. Every expo I've been to, he's been at them.
That's cool. Well, I'm very happy with my unit. I've used it. I don't know how many times. It's worked every single time. It has never let me down. It took me a while to figure out where I wanted it, how I wanted the hoses, if I wanted it inside or outside, because you actually have different ways you can set it up. There's not one way you can set it up. It's not like a regular air conditioner that you pour concrete pad and it's there forever. You actually can move this thing around and put it wherever you want it. So after I figured out, on the FJ and in the trailer where I wanted it and the best way to set it up, then I had to figure out my power because I've got the battery, but I also had a power station but I didn't have the, what's that thing called?
Power extension dock.
Power extension dock. I didn't have that. I didn't know that was a thing. And then that would have saved me a lot of time. So, once I got it out and played with it and I plugged it in, I got it home and it's one of those things that looks cool out of the bag or out of the box, when you get it home, you plug it in and you turn it on and it starts blowing cold and you're like, this thing works. This is cool. And
it's set right here at my desk the first time I opened it and it just blowed cold air.
I know you play with it and you're like, man, this thing actually works. I can't believe it. I did mess up one time when we were camped at the Buffalo River. I actually had it where the hoses come out the front and the drain and the exhaust is on the back. I actually had it sitting on my fender and it was pointed down like this and the hoses were going in, the exhaust was going out. And I went to pick that thing up the next day. Well, the water was not able to drain out. So it actually almost filled up the compartment. I picked it up and all this water ran out. Still worked. No, it didn't do anything to the unit, but I thought, well, you dummy, that's gravity. It's not anything. It's not a motor pushing that water out. It's gravity. So you got to think a little bit. Of course, that's just dumb me trying to figure the thing out. But you use it, you figure out how to use it. And now that I can look at this, check this out. I can get the power extension dock.
There you go.
And work the thing, and it's going to be that much better. So have you actually got yours out and played with it, Tony?
I have, and I've actually had the opportunity to use one several times, but I haven't actually. But I haven't actually been able to use this one that I have here just yet. I've got to figure out how I'm going to set it up in my truck. I don't know if it's going to be, below the tent on the deck door system, piped in that way, or if I'm going to set it up on the roof rack and just blow it straight in through the window. It's just like right outside the window. If I just unzip it, it'd just be right there. So,
yeah.
Tim,
let me ask you this. So we were talking earlier about diesel heaters. Now, on a diesel heater, most of the time we set those things either on the ground or close to the ground, and we pop the hose in there. Now we use learn the hard way. You have to get an insulated hose, otherwise the air cools off by the time it gets to your tent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does the ZeroBreeze use the same kind of hoses that, or I know it comes with its own, but can you use those and actually set the thing on the ground and run it into a rooftop tent? Would that be efficient enough? Would that work?
I think so, as long as you got the airflow going, because that's one of the things a lot of people they'll mess up. They try to go smaller on the exhaust hoses for I can't remember what trailer company it was, but they learned you can't go smaller on the back hoses because it restricts it and you'll get an error code because it starts getting too hot. It can't get that heat out, so you got to get those out. But on the front, I've done that
like a banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, pretty much. And on the front, I actually use just a 4-inch black dryer hose.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I use this and put it in the bed of my truck and pipe it up to my tent to those ports that I put in. And,
so I'm so glad you asked that question, Joey, because
that solves your issue, Tony.
Yes. Is that what you were going to say a minute ago, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody who has a truck bed, if you have a way to set it up by the rooftop tent, then you can set it in the truck bed and use that insulated hose like you use for your diesel heater and do the same exact thing.
And it'll be safe under cover out if it rains.
Out of the rain. Exactly.
Now, I will say, if you use the black hose like I got, don't put anything underneath it that you don't want to get wet, because this thing's going to condensate like crazy from that cold air going through it with this thing sitting outside.
Hmm.
So I've had I woke up in the morning and some stuff I didn't want to be wet that was on my tailgate was wet because it was dripping off of that.
I can see that. See that
Okay.
like that.
All right.
But I would be just fine with that, because that's one of my issues that I have when I've got a rooftop tent and nothing around that rooftop tent to set that air conditioner on. If I've got that hose where I could set it on the ground or close to the ground or on something just like my diesel heater, then that totally changes everything for me, because that has kept me from taking it several times, because I don't have a place to put it unless I put it inside the tent. And if it's me, the wife, and the dog, there's no room in there.
Yeah.
And so that changes everything. Now, granted, if you want it to work the best, you have to have two of those hoses.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah, you have to have two of those hoses, because you have to run both of them from the top and the bottom on the front of the unit.
Yeah, and if you want two hoses on it, that little piece that goes on the front, I think it's like $25 or something.
And that's
you gotta
worth
buy
it.
Separate.
That's worth it. I keep mine hooked up all the time.
Yeah, I just mounted mine on there and left it there.
I leave it there because it's like two little set screws that go in there, and it doesn't affect the way that it sits or the way that it hauls or anything. Just put it on there and leave it.
That piece right there.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah,
Okay.
that changes everything. Knowing that, because I know that they send you the hoses, but that was one of my questions, was wanting to know if the other hoses would work, because those hoses are much longer, they're insulated, and they're able to.
The white hoses they send are slightly bigger than 4-inch. It's I think it's like 4.1 or 4.2 or whatever it is. But the 4-inch dryer hoses will fit. I mean, it's not much difference in size.
So I don't see that hose adapter on their website.
It's under
their Mark II accessories. They have this one, which is for the back.
Let's see.
The front inlet adapter.
Yep, that's what you want.
The front inlet adapter, click on it and they'll show you that it goes on the bottom of the unit, Tony. The second picture, it shows you that it goes on the bottom of the unit.
Front air inlet duct adapter for Mark II?
That's it.
Yep.
And look at the second picture, how it mounts on the bottom.
Oh, okay. I thought it was two. Okay. I was looking for two hose. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Add to cart. Thank you. And guess what? It's on sale too. Cha-ching.
Yeah, look at there. That's awesome.
I love it. Solving problems. How to keep cool at camp.
This is why they take me on the shows with them.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, just being knowledgeable about the accessories is huge, because people that have one, most of the time, you know, and just to be honest, this is an expensive purchase. This is a investment.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when you're spending this, so if I was going to get it, the unit and the battery, that's $1,273. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not buying anything. I'm just getting that. That's all I'm getting. And so you don't really understand the accessories that are out there about how you can get, you know, something that you can power another station off onto it and keep that battery charged, or the other little cables that you can run from whatever solar panels that you have to keep the batteries charged, and different things like that. So you don't understand about that. So you have a knowledge about that. It's gold. That's gold. So
there's also features on that thing that a lot of people don't realize. There's a multi-function buttons up on top. So like the blue lights, if you have it inside your tent, those lights could get real bright. There's a way to turn those lights off too.
There is.
Yes.
There is. I saw Matt do that as well, because he had it inside the tent, and he's got to have it dark when he goes to sleep.
There's also a car mode, so it won't drain your car's battery.
Wow, that's cool.
And then you can change the Fahrenheit to Celsius.
It's got a nice remote that probably
It does have a remote.
Yeah.
It does
Okay,
have
so
a remote.
on their website, that remote, there's a it's an IR sensor that you can mount on here, that you can hook up, so you can run the other end of the sensor into your tent, and your remote will work with the AC underneath the truck, or underneath the tent in the bed of the truck. Because their remote has to have line of sight.
Okay, so it changes it to a RF radio frequency type deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an infrared remote extender cable.
So he's all over that website.
Yeah.
That's only $9. So that definitely is something that's cool, and it's long. That's a long 2 meters, so it's 8 feet. That's cool.
Add to cart.
That's the thing, man. When you have the accessories and somebody that knows about them, and just so everybody understands, and we're getting towards the end of our conversation here. I can't believe we've almost talked for an hour. Well, I was gone for the first 15 minutes, but just so everybody knows, this is a very simple unit to work.
Yep.
It doesn't come with a 150-page, instruction manual about how to do it. It's so simple to work. You plug whatever cable you have to whatever, whether it's the battery or whether it's an external power pack or whatever, you plug that into there and you hit the on button, and that's pretty much it. And you've got the remote. Turn it up, turn it down, however you want it. You can set it however you want. It's so easy to work, and so it's not something that's complicated. And if you're out there and you're thinking, man, I don't know about this, I have to learn something new. Well, a lot of the diesel heaters are so complicated, and they have like you hit one wrong button on the interface of those things, and you're like, I have no idea what to do. Call China. I don't know what to do. This thing is not that way. It has just a few buttons on it. It has an up or down, on or off. And it has modes where you can turn the lights on and off like that, like you mentioned a while ago. But once you turn that thing on and you got the remote, just turn it up, turn it down, and that's it. It's not complicated. That's what I love about it. It's not something that has 100 different buttons and 1,000 different settings. I mean, it is so easy. It does one thing. It cools, and it does it very well. So,
and man, I am so frustrated with the remote on my diesel heater right now. That thing has been giving me fits. It's a new one too. And if this thing works as a heater in the wintertime, I mean, either that or ZeroBreeze ought to come out with their own diesel heater or something.
Oh, and they might. You never know.
They might? Oh. I think.
Hey, you never know. They're always coming out.
I think they should.
I think
they make such good stuff. I think their diesel heater, a diesel heater by them would be an awesome thing.
Yeah, I think it would.
Anyway.
Well, Tim, man, we appreciate you. We have tried to come on the show for a long time, and finally we're able to hook up with you, and I really appreciate you taking the time. It is so awesome that you're sitting in an unfinished part of your house or she shed or wherever you are with your ZeroBreeze going. I mean, that's just cool. I love it.
Yeah. So, Tim, tell us again about your channel. How can the people follow you? Is it Exploring the Outdoors?
Well, if you type it in just like it is on the bottom of the screen right there, you got to put the little, what do you call that below
the underscores?
The underscores? Okay.
You got to put the underscores in there, and YouTube will find me.
Is it just YouTube, or you have an Instagram? You have anything?
I got YouTube, Instagram, a Facebook page, TikTok, pretty much all the platforms.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, make sure you get on there and follow Tim. He's fixing to do exciting trip in July, the Enchanted Rockies Trail, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to be using his ZeroBreeze out there. So,
yeah, I'm super jealous about that.
Yeah,
I love to tag along, so I'm gonna have to live through your post, Tim.
Yeah,
all right.
I've done part of it, and it is amazing. But anyway, well, Tim, once again, thank you from coming on here. He is live in South Texas, around the Houston area, and I know it's getting hot down there. My goodness. I've been to Houston several times, and the humidity and the heat, it's a whole nother world down there. So appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming on. It's good to see you. I hate I missed you at More Expo this year. I don't think I ever left the booth, maybe twice, but it was busy, really busy.
But anyway, thanks for coming on here.
Yeah, man.
And appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
Well, on behalf of Tony and myself, we appreciate everybody who joined in, and we'll have this uploaded to all podcast platforms starting in the morning. Make sure and join us. Get you some Logic Overland coffee. Get you a ZeroBreeze, ZeroBreeze.com. They got a great sale on here. We talked about it pretty much the whole show. I don't know how you could have missed it. I don't know. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, have a great week. Look out for number 1. Don't step in number 2.